Hi. Today in this video we will learn about the question bank related to chemical changes and reactions. So we have learnt the first three answers. So now we learn the fourth answer. So the fourth question is: heat is produced when water is added to concentrated sulfuric acid, and heat is produced when water is added to quicklime. So that means when water is added to quicklime, heat is produced, and when water is added to concentrated acid also heat is produced. However, A is a physical change. That means water when added to concentrated sulfuric acid is a physical change, but B is a chemical change. That means water when added to quicklime is a chemical change. Explain. So why when water is added to concentrated sulfuric acid it is called as a physical change, but when water is added to quicklime it is a chemical change. Why? So we have to explain that one. So let us discuss. See, when water is added to, first of all, A, we will discuss about A. Water is added to what? Concentrated sulfuric acid. So remember that, for example, here this is water. Okay. So now this is acid. What is this one? Acid. And this is what? Water. So there is another case where so if this is acid and this is water. So here these two are different because here acid is added to water, but here water is added to acid. So these two are different. Addition of acid to water and addition of water to acid. So this should not be done. This is wrong method. Why? Why it is wrong method and why this is correct method? See, remember that whenever acid and water come into contact, okay, the area where acid and water comes into contact, so at that place large amount of heat is released. Large amount of heat is released, and that heat, okay, that heat is absorbed by the water. So if this is the water, then the water has the capacity to absorb the heat. So that what happens? So the heat, slowly the heat will come down, but gradually this entire solution will be somewhat warm. But here, in this case, if water is added to acid, so the place at which comes into contact with acid, so here also heat is liberated. But the released heat, it cannot be absorbed by the acid because acid does not have that property. Water has the property to absorb the heat, but acid cannot absorb the heat. So that what happens? So large amount of heat is accumulated here. So due to this what happens? Acid will spill out. Acid will spill out and it leads to explosion of this content. So what happens? Sometimes it may lead to accident, explosion. So that is why. So remember that don't add water to acid. Always add acid to water so that water has the ability to absorb the heat, and so that what happens? So that heat is absorbed slowly into the solution. Here in this case, heat is not absorbed by the acid, so heat remains there only. So a large amount of heat is gathered here only, so that it leads to some accidents, or else it may lead to explosion, or else the acid may spill out. Okay, of course, this is not the part of our discussion. It is not related to this question, but still for your knowledge, I am giving you this one. Okay, so now let us go back to the original answer. See here, in the question it is mentioned as when water is added to acid. Okay, so we have to think in this way, not like this. Okay, so when water is added to acid, or acid to water is added to water, what happens? Heat is liberated. Okay, but remember that, so after addition of this acid into this water, now this entire thing will become dilute acid. So we have added a concentrated sulfuric acid, but what happens? That will become dilute sulfuric acid. This process is said to be dilution of, it is called as dilution of acid. During the dilution of acid, what happens? Large amount of heat is liberated. And the thing is that, so before the dilution, the molecules of acid is H2SO4, and even after the dilution also, the molecules of the acid is H2SO4 only. So there is no change in the chemical composition of the substance. That means no new substance is formed. Here there is no formation of new substance. So whenever new substance is not formed, then such type of change is said to be physical change. Hence A, so this A, water is added to concentrated acid. So hence A is a physical change. Now B, let us discuss about B. Water is added to quicklime. Suppose I've taken quicklime. What is quicklime? Quicklime is nothing but calcium oxide. So I've taken quicklime and I've added water into this one. So what happens? So that quicklime will dissolve in water. Okay, so now I have added what? Water. Now this quicklime is dissolved in water. So quicklime will dissolve in water, and after dissolution it will show chemical reaction. So this quicklime will react chemically with water and form calcium hydroxide. It is also called as slaked lime. This is what? This is quicklime. So quicklime, when dissolved in water, it reacts with that water and convert into slaked lime, calcium hydroxide. Okay, and a large amount of heat is liberated in this process. So if you touch this vessel, if you touch this container, what happens? So you will feel hot. Even here also, you will feel hot. Okay, so that means here heat is liberated. Here also, in this case also, heat is liberated. Heat is released. Heat is released. So in both the cases, heat is released. But this is called as physical change. But this one is called as chemical change, because in this process, when quicklime is added to water, what happens? A new substance is formed. So that quicklime, it is converted into a new substance known as a slaked lime or else a calcium hydroxide. Hence, as new substance is formed in this process, then that is why B is a chemical change, whereas A is a physical change. So like this, we can discuss the fourth answer. Okay. Now let us discuss the fifth answer. Now the fifth question. See, when ammonium chloride is heated strongly, it decomposes to form ammonia gas and hydrochloric acid gas. That means ammonium chloride. So this is a solid substance. When it is heated strongly, what happens? This one will break down. It will decompose. Decompose means breaking down. So ammonium chloride will break down into ammonia gas and hydrochloric acid gas. So these two are gases. For example, see, I have taken a closed container. So into this I have taken ammonium chloride. What is this one? Ammonium chloride, and I have started heating this one. I have started heating this one. So what happens? So when it is heated, this one will break down into ammonia gas and HCl. Both are gases, ammonia gas and even HCl gas. So what happens? Both the gases are released. But here the thing is that both are reactive gases. So this one will react with this one and this one will react with this one. So that means soon after their formation, quickly they start reacting with each other, and finally due to the reaction between these two, again ammonium chloride is formed. But in this case, this gaseous mixture will react with each other to form white dense fumes. White dense fumes. White dense fumes. Fumes means vapors, or else pogalu. In Telugu we will call it as poga. So like this. So that means white dense, very thick. Dense means thick. So thick fumes are produced. So these white dense fumes are nothing but ammonium chloride fumes, NH4Cl fumes. Okay, ammonium chloride fumes. See, the starting substance is ammonium chloride, and finally the final substance is also ammonium chloride only. Okay, starting material is ammonium chloride, and even the final product is also ammonium chloride. So in between these two are formed, and again these two they quickly combine, they quickly reunite, or they quickly combine, and finally they form ammonium chloride. So this is a backward reaction. Okay, it's a reversible reaction. So here, as a result of this one, what is happened? These two will disappear. These two will disappear because they combine with each other. These two will disappear, and finally which one will form? So finally ammonium chloride is formed. So the reactant is ammonium chloride, and even final product is also ammonium chloride only. So that means there is no new substance is formed in this process. Hence this is called as a physical change, because during physical change, though there is no formation of new substance. So when ammonium chloride is heated strongly, it decomposes to form ammonia gas and hydrochloric acid gas. But the change is regarded as physical change. Why it is regarded as physical change? Because there is no formation of new substance. So though these two substances are formed immediately, soon after their formation, immediately they react with each other to form this product. So that means ultimately there is no formation of new product. Again the same substance is formed, but now it is in vapor state. Okay, hence as there is no formation of new substance, hence this process is or this change is said to be physical change. Okay, so this is first case. Next, however, when ammonium nitrate when ammonium nitrate is heated, that means when ammonium nitrate is heated, what happens? It decomposes. That means it will break down to form nitrous oxide gas and steam. That means it will upon heating, this one when heated, what happened? It will break down to form nitrous oxide gas, and steam is released. So nitrous oxide means laughing gas. Already we know, I think. So this is nitrous oxide, laughing gas. So during this process, laughing gas is released and steam is also released. But here the thing is, these two, they do not react chemically with each other. Like how these two react with each other chemically, but here in this case, these two, they do not react, they do not have the nature, or they do not have the property to react with each other. So this one cannot react with this one, and this one cannot react with this one. So as a result of this one, what happened? So backward reaction does not take place. They do not react with each other. So finally they remain as it is. So overall we can say that this ammonium nitrate is converted into a new substance. So that means during this process a new substance is formed. Hence this process is said to be a chemical change. Heating of ammonium nitrate, okay, it will decompose into a nitrous oxide and water, and this is a chemical change, because here these two substances, they do not reunite, or they do not recombine to form the original substance. But here in this case, these two substances will reunite, or else these two substances will recombine with each other, okay, react with each other to form the original substance back. So this is a physical change, but here this is not a physical change, because new substance is formed and it will remain as it is. Okay, so like this we can discuss the fifth answer. So here it is not a reversed. This is not reversed. We cannot reverse this one, but this is a reversed, because these two will combine with each other to form the original substance. So this is not a reversible process. This is a reversible process. So remember, physical change can be reversed, but chemical change cannot be reversed. Okay, so like this fifth answer can be discussed. So now we will discuss about the sixth answer. So the sixth answer we will discuss. So here the question related to sixth answer is like this. So by giving two examples, that means we have to write two examples each. Okay, we have to write two examples for each. So each means here there is something related to this one. So we have to give two examples and bring out each, okay, examples each bring out clearly the difference. So we have to bring out the difference, or else we have to explain the difference between thermal decomposition. Between thermal decomposition and thermal dissociation. So the question says that, so by taking two examples, so explain the difference between thermal decomposition and thermal dissociation. So now let us discuss this one. What is thermal decomposition? So thermal decomposition is nothing but a substance is broken down into two different substances. For example, KClO3. Let us take KCl, potassium chlorate. See, when it is heated strongly, okay, when it is heated strongly, what happens? It will decompose, or else it will break down. It will break down into two simpler substances. Two simple substances are formed. Okay, so if I balance like this, so potassium chloride is one substance and oxygen is another substance. So these two are the simpler substances, simple substances which are formed from this substance. Okay, here after the formation of these two substances, they do not reunite, they do not recombine to form the original substance. That means they do not combine with each other to form this substance. So this backward reaction is not possible. That means the simpler substances which are formed from this substance, they do not reunite to form the original substance. So if that is if that decomposition takes place in such a way, then such type of decomposition is said to be thermal decomposition. So that means breakdown of a substance into two simpler substances, where the two simpler substances do not combine with each other to form the original substance. Let us take another example. For example, we have discussed the previous answer. So ammonium chloride, let us take another example, ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride, upon heating, what happens? It forms ammonia gas and HCl. But in this process, what happens? This is also decomposition only. because this is broken down into two simpler substances. But these two simpler substances, they combine with each other and they form the original substance. They reunite. Okay, so here breaking of this substance takes place into two simpler substances, and those two simpler substances will reunite to form the original substance. That means the change is reversible. That means the reaction is a reversible reaction. But here it is not a reversible reaction. Okay, so this is simply thermal decomposition, but this is thermal dissociation. In thermal dissociation reaction, what happens? The simpler substances which are formed, they reunite, or else they react with each other to form the original substance, to form the reactant back. Such type of breakdown is said to be thermal dissociation. So this is thermal dissociation. Okay, this is an example for thermal dissociation. This is an example for thermal decomposition. Even here also we can say it is also thermal decomposition, but reversible thermal decomposition. So thermal dissociation, it is also called as reversible thermal decomposition. Okay, so reversible thermal decomposition is said to be thermal dissociation. But here, if you simply say thermal decomposition, so it is not a reversible. Okay, so the simpler substances which are formed, they do not combine with each other to form back the original substance. That means reversible reaction is not possible. Okay, here reversible reaction is possible. Okay, so this is one example. Another example for thermal decomposition, sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate upon heating, so this will produce sodium nitrite, NaNO2, and oxygen gas is released. Okay, so here, so this reaction takes place. So after the formation of these simpler substances, they do not reunite, or they do not combine with each other, or else they do not react with each other to form back this substance. So this backward reaction is not possible. So this is a decomposition reaction, but backward reaction is not possible. Hence, such reaction is said to be thermal decomposition reaction. Okay. So for this also we will discuss another example. Calcium carbonate, limestone. Limestone, it is also called as marble or limestone. Okay, or simply we can call it as a chalk, or else simply we can call it as calcium carbonate. So when this is strongly heated, what happens? It will break down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide is liberated. Carbon dioxide, CO2 gas is liberated. Okay, but under this condition, what happened? So this carbon dioxide can react with the calcium oxide, and so due to the reaction between these two, again these two will react with each other to form this calcium carbonate. That means backward reaction is possible. So here also breaking down of this substance is taking place, but the simpler substances which are formed, they recombine with each other, or they reunite with each other to form the original product. This is a decomposition reaction only, but as it is reversible, hence it is said to be reversible thermal decomposition. Reversible thermal decomposition reaction is also called as thermal dissociation. So there is a difference between thermal decomposition and thermal dissociation. So in thermal dissociation, the products which are formed, they reunite to form the original reactant. But in thermal decomposition, so the product, they do not recombine. That means backward reaction is not possible. Whereas in thermal dissociation, backward reaction is possible. Okay, so that is the differences between thermal decomposition and thermal dissociation. So by giving two examples, so this is one example, another example. So for this type, and these are the two examples for this type. Okay, so like this, sixth answer can be discussed. Okay, right. Now we will learn the Now we will learn the next uh, eighth question says that we have to classify the following reactions. So reactions, I mean there are some reactions are given. Okay, we have to classify these reactions. So whether it is a chemical decomposition reaction or chemical combination reaction or chemical displacement reaction or else a reversible reaction or double displacement reaction. Okay, we have to classify all these reactions into the mentioned types. Okay, so first we will discuss about this one. So this particular reaction, it is what? It is chemical displacement reaction. So this is chemical displacement. Why it is called as chemical displacement reaction? Because in this particular reaction, so magnesium is highly reactive metal when compared to zinc. Okay, so what happened? This highly reactive metal will displace or else will remove or else will move this less reactive metal from its salt. So the actually zinc sulfate, zinc is present in the form of salt, zinc sulfate. Zinc sulfate is a salt. Okay, so from this salt, from the salt of zinc, so zinc is taken out because magnesium is more reactive than zinc. So what happens? Magnesium will occupy the place of zinc, okay, and it will throw away the zinc outside. So what happens? It forms magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate is formed and zinc is displaced from the salt. Okay, so such a type of reaction is said to be chemical displacement. So that means more reactive metal will displace the less reactive metal from its salt solution. Okay, such type of reactions are said to be what? Chemical displacement reaction. Okay, right. Now this one. This one is a double displacement reaction or else a double decomposition reaction. Why? Because here lead and nitrate. So lead is in the form of +2 and a nitrate will be in the form of minus. Okay, so here also HCl, hydrogen will be in the form of H plus and chlorine will be in the form of Cl minus. So what happened? So this will, this one and this one. So both of them will exchange their radicals. Radicals means ions. So here lead, it will give its nitrate to hydrogen and this hydrogen will give its chloride to lead. So that what happens? See, there are two nitrates. There are two nitrates. So one more NO3 is present. Okay. So every NO3 will require one H plus. As there are two NO3s, so here there should be two H plus and two Cl minus. And every Pp plus 2 will require 2 Cl minus, then only charges will be balanced. So that means it forms a PbCl2 and it forms HNO3. Okay, so as there are two nitrates and two hydrogens, so here it forms 2 HNO3. Okay, 2 HNO3. So what is happening in this process? So these substances, they are exchanging their radicals. Radicals means ions. So this ion is exchanged to that substance, and this ion from this substance is exchanged to this substance. Okay. The chemical reactions which occur by exchanging their radicals, okay, between the two compounds. Between the two compounds, what happens? Exchanging of radicals takes place. This is one compound and this is another compound. So between these two compounds, exchanging of radicals takes place. So here as exchanging of radicals takes place, so as a result of exchange of radicals, so what happened? So new substances, lead chloride and nitric acid are formed. Hence such type of reactions are said to be chemical double displacement reaction. Double displacement. Okay, double displacement reaction. It's a chemical double displacement. Okay, reaction. Double displacement reaction is also called as a double decomposition reaction also. We may call it as double decomposition reaction also. Okay, right. So now let us learn the third one. See, third type of reaction, it is called as a reversible reaction. See, in this reaction, this is a reversible reaction. So sulfur dioxide will combine with oxygen to form sulfur trioxide, and at the same time some of the sulfur trioxide will convert into sulfur dioxide and oxygen back. So that means these two will combine to form this one, and this one will break down into these two substances. At the same time both the things happens. So this is called as forward reaction and this is called as backward reaction. Both forward reaction and backward reaction takes place simultaneously. Simultaneously means at the same time. So the chemical reaction in which both forward reaction and backward reaction takes place at the same time, such reaction is said to be reversible reaction. So actually this is the symbol. This symbol is used for reversible reaction. By looking into the symbol only we can easily say that it is a reversible reaction. What is that? It is reversible chemical reaction. Okay, right. So reversible reaction. Next, if you see this one, so one single substance, it is broken down into more than one substance. Okay, so one substance is broken down into more than one substance. Generally, it may be two or more than two. So one substance, if it broken down into more than two substances or more than one substance, and these two substances they are simpler substances than this one. Okay, if a substance is broken down into two or more simpler substances, then such a type of reaction is said to be decomposition reaction or else a chemical decomposition reaction. Okay, chemical decomposition reaction. Right. So this is a chemical decomposition reaction. Now, fifth one. See, when two simpler substances combine to form only one single substance. Okay, if more than one substances combine with each other to form only single substance, single product, then such type of reaction is said to be a chemical combination reaction. In chemical combination reaction, what happens? Only one substance will form as a product, but the reactants will be more than one. More than one reactants are present, but there will be only one product. So such type of reactions are said to be chemical combination. So here chemical decomposition, it is opposite to chemical combination. In chemical decomposition, so only one substance will break down into more than one substance. But in chemical combination, more than one substance will combine to form only single substance. So these two are opposite. Okay, opposite. I mean, from one single substance, more than one substance are formed in chemical decomposition. Whereas in chemical combination, more than one substance will combine to form a single substance. So like this. So all these reactions are categorized into these things. Okay. So with this, this answer is finished. So we will discuss the other answers in the next video.